Welcome back to Fox 5 Amplified. With me today, Tiffany Olin, who you may recognize if you watch Fox 5 the last couple of days. She's the newest person in the weather department, giving us the forecast for this week. And we'll talk a little bit about Tiffany, where she came from in a second, but we'll get to the news first. That is what you've been forecasting over the last couple of days. It is going to be hot.
Yes, very similar to what we saw last week. We had that extreme heat warning going in place. It lasted 5 days. We expect this one to be almost as long. So It goes in place Thursday morning, and it does last until Sunday evening. So it's your entire weekend that's going to be affected. We could push record temperatures. Our all-time record high is 116 for August, and we're forecasting 115 for August 1st, which is this Saturday.
Now, it's always hot here in the desert in the middle of the summer, but what kind of constitutes getting these extreme warnings?
So we're usually around 105. That's our average over the last 30 years for the end of July, and then 104 for the beginning of August. And we are pushing those temperatures about 10 degrees above that. So that is what initially does issue that. And then also our overnight lows really are not going to cool us down. We're going to stay in the upper 80s, just like what we saw last week. With that heat wave, we didn't cool down. We didn't see any relief. So that really impacts us across the region.
When you look further ahead, I know the forecast starts to fall apart a little bit once you get past like 7 days. It's hard to really be. But what are you seeing trend-wise?
Well, the next 8 to 14 days, you can look at that outlook, and we're still trending above average for both our temperatures, but also our precipitation. So we could get a bit muggier, and that does indicate some hotter temperatures as well.
Everybody's hoping we get a little rain out of it, but it usually just means we're just going to get the humidity.
Yeah, we are going to get the humidity, and then, of course, we do have the slight chance to see some thunderstorms as we go into next Thursday and then the following weekend. So there is some chance, but not a whole lot. Like we saw those traces of rain with the last couple of storms that went through. We're still in the fifth driest month. Actually, July, the fifth driest July on record.
Okay, so it's the middle of the summer in the desert, so I guess it can be expected to a certain degree. But like you said, we're 10 or more degrees above normal, so you really start to feel it when it's that way. I mean, I know you're looking at us and you're like, "What do you guys know? You're relatively new." Well, I mean, I'm from the Southwest. You're from the South. We're just getting back used to it. This is my first full summer. I came in the middle of summer last year and was welcomed with 114 degrees when I got here. So, the Southwest doing what the Southwest does.
Yeah, I moved in, it was 111 that day. So I felt the heat, and I know it's just what you're used to this time of year, but it is hotter than what we've seen even the last year. So we saw those record temperatures in 2024 when we hit that 120 mark. And now there were some models that were forecasting 117 for Saturday. Yeah. Now they've backed off a little bit, but still the slight chance that we get real close to that 120 mark.
And we do have a lot of visitors here, obviously. And then we also deal with that sort of like heat island effect because there's so much cement
Yes.
and around here that it just, as you mentioned, the overnight low stays hot. And, you just don't get any relief. So
yeah, those visitors really not used to a heat like that.
Yeah.
They really need to try to limit their time outdoors, find shade. If you can't find the shade, you need to bring an umbrella with you to give yourself that shade. Luckily, we have had some breezes, but it's a hot breeze.
Yeah, it's like walking into a hairdryer.
Yeah, it doesn't totally cool you down, but it is something to break up just the heat constantly. Obviously, stay hydrated. That's really the number one thing, even ahead of a heat wave like this. You want to hydrate, and hydrate.
Yeah, that's good news for obviously even people that live here.
Yes.
Good reminder to do that. And yesterday we were watching one of our live cameras. It's the Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas sign. And there were people out there with umbrellas.
Yes, they're smart.
Yeah, that is smart. I mean, I got to say, growing up in the Southwest, I've never once thought, let me carry an umbrella for the sun.
I also never thought that, but it's a good thing to have.
If you're stuck out there or you're stuck online somewhere, or maybe you're waiting for a bus or whatever you got to do, it's not a bad idea to keep you in the shade because, the difference between, I know we're going to see some humidity, but the difference between places that have actual humidity, I lived in the Midwest before this, you can't really escape it. At least in the dry heat, you can kind of get into the shade and you can be like, okay, I can deal with this for a little bit.
Yeah, and it's also good to note that when we take our temperatures, we're taking them in the shade.
Yeah.
So if you're in the sun, it's even hotter. That direct sun is really going to eat you alive. And if you have an umbrella, you want to try to at least have like that wood handle, because those black handles or any dark colored handle is just going to attract the sun and it's going to heat your umbrella up even faster.
Yeah, wear light clothing. Don't dress like
Yes.
us. We're obviously inside most of the
Yes.
day. I mean, I do feel like that sometimes. When I stop to get a coffee on the way to work, and here I am wearing a suit, and people are looking at me like it's 115 degrees outside. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm wearing a jacket
Yeah,
inside, but
going inside. I'll be okay with the air conditioning. We alluded to it a little bit there, but let's tell folks you will be here on Fox 5 forecasting the weather at 1 and 2 p.m.
yes.
in the middle of the day. And where'd you come from? Tell us about yourself.
So my prior market is Fresno, California, so it is still hot out
Yeah.
there, but it's about 5 to 7 degrees cooler than here in Vegas. But I did forecast extreme heat there. But I'm originally from Southern California, Ontario, California. For those familiar with Southern California, that also gets hot.
Oh, yeah.
It's very inland. It's the Inland Empire,
Yep.
so temperatures get to around 110, 112. There was one summer I was 115.
Yeah.
So I did grow up with the heat, but there is no heat like Las Vegas for sure.
There isn't, but it's funny because I remember back in the growing up in Southern California, the LA area, and going out to Palm Springs often. And I remember there were, this I'm talking about the 90s. There were times where there were temperatures in the 120s, and that just kind of seemed like normal. And they've sort of fallen off a little bit, but now every time they come back, we act like they're not normal. And I mean, Vegas is a little different than Palm Springs, Phoenix, but these happen
Yes.
in the summer. I mean, we get temperatures. I know you mentioned it was like 2024 was the last time we had 120 in Vegas.
Yeah, that's our all-time record high
Wow.
now.
Okay.
Prior to that was 117. So 2024 was really hot. That was the hottest July on record. So 90 years of records, 2024 July was the hottest.
Yeah. Okay. So you're used to forecasting temperatures like this. What is, what are you looking forward to being here?
I haven't forecasted monsoons that much, so I'm very excited to see
Okay.
how that works. But my first job on air was in Southern Oregon, so I did forecast a lot of winter weather.
Oh, yeah.
I had to drive in snow for the first time, and as a
Same.
Southern California kid, that is
Yep.
terrifying. I didn't even like driving in the rain. Very Southern California typical of me. But yeah, I learned a lot living in Oregon. I learned a lot of different microclimates. There was extreme heat there as well. Low triple digits was
Yeah.
extreme for them,
Yeah.
but it did affect wineries. That's wine country for Oregon. And so it was constant different agriculture aspects of how the heat and how the winter snow and rain affects all of those things. And that all bleeds into the economy of the area as well.
The same here. I mean, I grew up in Southern California, and a lot of people here too. I mean, other than parts of Summerlin, parts of like Anthem, which might get a dusting of snow. Nothing that's ever gonna, my first time I moved to Spokane, and it was like, okay, now I've got to drive on hills
Yep.
in snow with a rear-wheel drive car. Was definitely not used to any of that. Now I feel like I'm a hardened person because I went to the Midwest and I've been
Yeah,
done
that's a whole other thing.
I've done
yeah.
negative 40 weather and ice and snow and everything like that. So I could do it also. It takes time to acclimate back to the summer. But okay, outside the weather center, what are you looking forward to? There's like so much to do here. Are you like a foodie? Do you want to check
know.
out the restaurants?
The restaurants
clubs,
are a big
the
thing.
day club? Are you going to be in the pool at Omnia?
Well, growing up in
Whatever it's
Southern
called.
California, you go to Las Vegas
Yeah,
when you
all the
turn
time.
21. Yeah.
Yep, did
and
it.
I went to college in Southern California, so I went to Las Vegas plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
I did the day club, the nightclub scene. I think I'm a little aged out of it right
Tell
now.
me about it.
But there'll be the occasional,
Yeah.
yes. But I'm most looking forward to restaurants. I feel like that's the adult Las Vegas that I
Yeah.
never got to do.
True.
Or never chose to do,
Yeah.
I should say. I'm
Do you have a list that you're making so far?
I
You can
have-
start one.
I've saved a couple TikToks.
Okay,
There's
yeah.
some speakeasies that I really
Yeah.
want to try. And I've saved a bunch of happy hours. I'm a big happy hour person.
Well, you'll have the
Yeah.
perfect schedule for that.
Yeah, I get off around 5
Right around there.
sometimes.
Roll
Yeah.
right into the happy hour
Yeah.
and check
yeah.
them out. There's plenty of things, plenty of restaurants, plenty of things to do. Obviously, as you know, in Vegas, and it is different being a resident here as somebody that visits. When you visit, you spend a lot of time on the Strip, and obviously, I find now that sometimes I like forget the Strip even exists, and I don't go there or don't think about it for a week or two at a time. And then it just feels like a great desert Southwest town. But I've also noticed that there are so many restaurants just off the strip that
Oh
you
yeah.
can go
Mhm.
to that I also have like a list of those that I want to go to and check them
Yeah.
out. And you could, only go there for special occasions or when you have something on the list.
Yeah, I've looked at there's some areas. I just went out to Summerlin. I had never been out there
Beautiful area.
ever. Yeah, it's beautiful. I do want to check out Red Rocks,
Hmm.
and I actually did do that when I was little. So,
Hmm.
growing up in Southern California, me and my family would
Yeah.
drive out here for different baseball tournaments for my brother, or my best friend growing up, her grandpa lives in North Las Vegas and
Hmm.
has lived there my
Oh,
whole
okay.
life. So we would come out here, we'd see her grandpa
Hmm.
and just explore the area. But I was so young, I don't
Yeah.
remember it too much. So
And it's grown exponentially in the
yeah,
last decade or two.
I'm excited to see all the outdoorsy stuff, but I do have to wait for it to cool down.
Yeah, that's true. You got to
Yeah.
wait for it to get a little cooler. I enjoyed the fall was probably the best weather. I think like September, October, November is
Mm-hmm.
perfect here, and got up to Red Rock and at least drove I think it's called the Loop or whatever it is that you
Oh
can
yeah,
do in
yeah.
there. And it's beautiful to see. And yeah, there's so much to do. And then the mountains get snow capped, which is pretty.
Yeah, that's always pretty.
And the red mountains get snow capped. So there's a lot to do here. We're happy to have you, and yeah, like we said, she'll be forecasting 1 and 2, and I know you'll be seeing her other places too as people take time off, and you'll
Yes.
be filling in. And
Mm-hmm.
then the weather show that's on Fox 5 Vegas Plus. I know you'll be on there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome to the area. Thanks for being with us on Amplified. Stay cool out there. Excuse me, and we'll see you next time here on Fox 5 Amplified.